And yes, you are. Deep Fried Johnny, you are first today. And good morning, everyone. How are we doing today?
Hi!
Oh, Gus, you're a little bit off. I think you need to move over slightly.
Okay, well, there's not much to move over to. You've got stuff here.
There you go. That's better. How is everyone doing today? Right. We'll do the rules first of all, so everyone knows that's currently on those massively 2 viewers we have. This is obviously primarily a podcast, and we won't be responding to the chat during the podcast, apart from at the listeners' questions section, and we'll try and call out subscriptions, but we won't be calling out subscribers. So if any of our loyal viewers wouldn't mind just doing that for me, that would be absolutely fantastic. And Gus, would you mind doing me a going live, please?
Yeah, I was just doing it now.
Thank you very much. And then
I accidentally did one yesterday.
And and in a second we will do a proper show intro, and we'll find out what Gus's name is today.
Right. I'm still listening.
Okay.
I can do 2 things.
Okay. And good morning, everyone. I am Brendan Mills, your host for today's podcast, and I'm joined with Gus the Hutt, also known as
The Extra Large Lebowski.
Nice, I love it. Getting better, aren't they? Right, this is GG Shop Talk, Wednesday, 4th of August, and We are going to be calling this Pre-Order Overload. That's right. 25, ladies and gentlemen. 25 pre-orders up for grabs this Saturday.
Well, sort of.
Well, in terms of what a stockist can do, there is 25 pre-orders. Right, we'll be talking a little bit about the pre-orders today, a little bit about dragons, a little bit about the Emperor.
Dagrons, you say?
Dagrons? Dagrons indeed. A little bit about the Emperor, a little bit about something from me. I'm going to just quickly do a shout out later on for Midwinter Minis. We're going to geek out a little bit today as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
That weren't in the show notes, but it's Gus's idea, so we're going to geek out.
I want to talk about things.
Yeah, we want to talk about things. Just remind everyone about GriffCon later on, and then we'll go on to your questions, and we'll go close the show, raid the channel.
Yes.
So, yeah. Let's just quickly say hello to our viewers. Don't forget if you are listening on... Yeah, both of them. Don't forget if you are listening on the podcast, you can always join us live Wednesday around about 11:30 and interact with us on the chat. That's on twitch.tv.
Yes.
So hello to Deep Fried Johnny, the Essex Hobbyist, and Syncmaster. How are you doing?
Oh, six people now.
6 people. Oh, it must be... what did you call yourself? The great...
The extra large Lebowski.
The extra large... What? Lebowski.
Yeah.
The extra large Lebowski. I really cannot talk today. Very good for a podcast, don't you think?
I'm bigger than the big Lebowski.
Right.
And hairier. Well, at least I was.
Well, let's
Shaved.
let's crack on,
Yeah.
shall we? So, the first item... I'm not going to go through all 25 pre-orders, guys. Just so you know. I'm just going to say there is 25 and we'll go through the main ones, okay?
We'll just say Grey Knights.
Well, it starts off with Hexfire.
Hexfire. I was excited about this one.
Was?
Yeah. This is an odd one for me because it's 2 factions that I play. I play both. This never happens with these 2 army box sets. I usually there's 1 faction in them that I'm interested in, or none at all, and the ones that I am, I'll split with somebody else, half the cost, job done. Love those models.
Job done. Yep.
Yeah. Now these are 2 factions that I have played extensively in the past. They are 2 factions that don't have a particularly large model range,
Right.
and so apart from the 2 new things in the box, I have almost everything that's in this box already.
Ah, okay, I got you.
And so do...
On both armies.
On both armies. Now, saying that I don't need any more of any of those units
You always need more
would
plastic.
probably be a lie. However,
You got the Infernal Master.
it's difficult to get excited about a box when you've already owned the majority of what's in it.
Oh, the only thing you haven't got is the brand new Infernal Master.
Yeah, the Infernal Master
Right.
and their Castle and Crow model. Those are the only 2 new models in the box.
Oh, okay.
I have everything else that's in those. Apart from the Zangor Shaman, which I have actually been meaning to pick up at some point. So that's an extra nice little bonus.
Cool.
But yeah, I could always use more of everything that's in there. It's just difficult to get excited about something when you've already got everything that's in the box.
Well, I've got a surprise for you. You're getting a box from me.
I am?
You are. You're going to unbox the box.
Ooh.
And depending on how generous I'm feeling next week, maybe you keep it.
Well, okay.
Okay.
Well, okay then.
Paige is giving me a look, guys. That's not fair. Paige, look at those eyes. They're just, that's what that is. Oh, just listening. Okay, sorry. Oh, she gave me the finger.
The moving finger.
Right. I just want to do a quick sound check now that we've been talking for a bit, guys. Is there any echo on the line for our lovely viewers out there? And just to remind anyone that is new, because we have got 1 new person in there, we are on a podcast. We won't be responding to chat normally. Sounds fine. Sound is
Cool.
fine. Fantastic.
That makes a change.
That does make a change. Last week, almost 90% of it, apart from when we were talking to Simon Says, was echo the whole time.
We're also having camera issues as well.
Yeah,
so that might
it's,
have
we changed
compounded it a
camera.
little.
We changed
We've changed the camera. No more frozen Gus. no more. Unless you want me.
Have you met Elsa?
Let it go. Let it go.
No. Oh, let's not, please.
Yeah. I could just freeze like this. Just go.
No, you're not still enough, mate. You have to be more like this. Oh, God, this is good radio, isn't it? Right, okay. So what do you get in the hex file? You get 29 miniatures, the Infernal Master, 5 Scarab Occult Terminators, 10... Now, do you pronounce the T, or is it just a silent T?
Zangor.
So it's a silent T?
Yes.
Okay.
Same with Zinch in general.
Zench, okay.
Zinch or Zench.
Zench. So 10 Zangors, complete with upgrade sprues. Now,
having said that,
the
all
upgrade
throughout my
sprues.
early years, I always pronounced the T, and I got told later on that I was doing it wrong for so many years.
Right, but the upgrade sprues, is that something you would get if you brought the Zangors, or would that be something separate?
If you bought the current Start Collecting box for Thousand Suns, you get the Zangor upgrades.
Right.
And the Zangor upgrades are available as a separate purchase direct from Games Workshop.
Okay, what I would tell everyone right now is, purely because I cannot get them, there is no more Start Collecting boxes.
No.
On that, so you can't get them anymore as part of that. So watch out for the Combat Patrol box. Probably get, I mean, look, we've got the Adeptosaurus there. That's getting dispatched this week. When did the Adeptosaurus the Codex come out? It was about
a month ago.
About a month. So
about a month ago.
There you go, guys. You're probably looking at a month before the Combat Patrol box will come out for these items. Okay,
they're not doing the Combat Patrol now because they're doing a 2-army box. It'll be silly of them to release a Combat Patrol for the 2 armies.
Would it be silly of them
at the same time?
Would it be silly of them for any chance to release, I don't know, Dominion box, and then a week later pretty much release the Start Collecting boxes, getting started boxes?
In all fairness, they expected to have sold out.
Yeah, whatever. And
let's not get printed on that again.
Apparently, I was over it.
Yeah, totally.
Completely over it. Right. Next is the Zangor Shaman. That's what you want. And for the Thousand Suns, a fresh incarnation of the legendary Castilian Crow. Am I saying it right?
Castellan Crow.
Castellan Crow.
Yep.
10 Grey Knight Purifiers, which can also be built as a strike squad.
Yep.
So they've got 2 different options there. Actually, 4 different
there's
options.
Basically, it's one kit that makes all of the power armored infantry
Cool.
squads.
So
There's like 4 or 5 different choices.
So you've got Purifier, Strike Squad, Inceptor Squad, and the Purgation Squad. And a Hulking Nemesis Dread Knight for the Grey Knights.
But in all fairness, the only difference between the Purifiers and the Strike Squad is the paint job.
Right, okay.
It's actually the same build of model. You just paint the helmets a different colour.
So I actually, you know what? You know I'm a noob to this. I sell the stuff, but I don't know the ins and outs of it. Where is the Thousand Suns on the Thousand Suns side of it?
Well, the Zangors is all Thousand Sunsy, and you got the Scarab Occult Terminators.
No. It says okay. So on. Right. Okay. So, but they're not traditional Thousand Suns.
They're
I
not
look
your
at Thousand
base.
Suns. I look at Thousand Suns and see Rubik Marines.
Yes. That is what everybody was expecting from this box. Obviously, that's what is going to be included, I would assume, in the upcoming Combat Patrol. You get Rubric Marines in the Start Collecting box, which is going out of production, as you said. But a Start Collecting box combined with this box actually gives you a pretty decent mix of stuff.
Okay, cool.
This box is really good if you're just starting out these 2 armies.
Okay.
It's not particularly the best if you've already got these armies.
So you don't want it then?
I do. I 100% do. I was getting this regardless, but
okay, cool.
I'm not as excited as I should be.
Right, got yeah. Okay, so aside from the miniatures, Hexfire contains the rules and narrative. Rules for narrative and Crusade games, as well as the datasheet for each unit. So you're going to get those almost the equivalent of War Scrolls, which I love. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. 1 second.
Oh, what's happened? What's happened? What's this? What's this?
I've got some famous bots to kill. Give me a moment.
Famous bots?
Yeah. Want to be famous bots?
Oh no! Want to be famous? Ah! Just ignore them. Right. Anyway, podcast. Right. Next on the pre-order list, which is of most. He's on the podcast and he doesn't subscribe to the channel, guys. Oh my word, that is so bad. Wow. Right, anyway.
Somebody gifted me last month.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right. Okay, so next on the pre-order list is the Codex for the Grey Knights and Thousand Suns. So, yeah, pretty much, guys. You'll probably find that in these codexes, there'll be other new units that they haven't released yet. So, that'll be interesting to find out, no?
No.
No? There's not going to be any more new units?
No more new units. When they released the... Chapter approved 2021.
And you were able to see the new points.
They had a complete points list for these 2 codexes, which was supposed to already be out at that time. The only new unit across both armies. Yeah.
Free. We're just going to sort out the audio. One moment, guys. Hopefully it won't be exactly. Now you put the microphone down too close to me as well, so hopefully it'll be a bit better now.
So yeah, what was I saying?
How's the sound first, guys? We will cut this out.
Yeah.
20 minutes in.
Yeah. What was I saying?
Bots.
Yeah. After that.
Before that.
Before
that. About new units in the codexes.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the 2021. Chapter approved gave us a complete list of all the points values for the new codexes. They updated the new codexes before they'd actually released the codexes, which is weird. But because of like last year and everything shutting down and the release schedule being thrown off, they expected both of these codexes to already be out.
Be out before the 2021.
Yeah. I think their original pledge was 2 codexes a month.
Yeah, they haven't
They
done
have
that,
fallen well short of that.
Right. Okay, guys. Dice and data cards. Now the which one was it? The Grey Knights one. That's the Marbly effect one, wasn't it? That they put up. If you've seen the dice for the Grey Knights.
Yeah.
And the Thousand Suns is like a bluey
turquoise.
a
bluey colour with the Thousand Suns symbol on it.
The Thousand Suns one. The Grey Knights one looks epic. I mean, it looks really good.
Very nice.
The Thousand Sun, right? Sorry, the Grey Knights one looks really good, and the Thousand Sun ones just looks a bit meh. It's blue dice or turquoise dice.
I mean, if you're a Thousand Suns fan, then you'll literally be all over those. But yeah, the Grey Knights ones are
pretty nice,
a little extra special.
And obviously you got your data cards there,
as usual. Yeah.
Right. So the not bulk. There's at least 6 units free from each faction that are getting reboxed. So they are on the pre-order, guys. I'm pretty sure they are exactly the same units. There's not going to be any difference in the sprues.
Quick. Is the Exalted Sorcerers?
I haven't got the list in front of me.
You haven't got the list? Because I was wondering whether or not there would be a rebase of those models. Excuse me 1 second. Nope, I thought I was going to sneeze.
Sorry, you were saying?
So yeah, they've been going through a lot of their sort of character models and upscaling the average base size of their character models.
Okay.
So I was very curious as to whether or not they would do a rebase sizing of the Exalted Sorcerers up to larger size bases, because they've currently been on smaller bases than other character models of the same type for a long while now. So I was curious about that.
Redscope, if you could save that little comment you just said there and ask it later on, that'd be actually a good talking point later on. Right. So the reboxing, and they might be rebasing some of them. But what I've written down here is basically the classic units from the Ruby Marines to the Strike Squad. So they are reboxing items that are not in the Hexfire as well. So and next after that is they're releasing 6 Black Library books. Now, I'm not a reader, so
No, me neither.
not so. To be honest, I mean, we could do a little bit of a segment on books that get released in this podcast, but because neither of us have got the passion for it, we won't be able to do it justice.
No.
So I'm just literally going to state we're getting at least 1 copy of each book in.
I get most of my law knowledge like second or third hand, so...
Oh yeah, there was one pre-order item that we wanted a few units of it, and even GW aren't able to fulfill a single one. So
really?
there is one pre-order item which I think is there a Grey Knight called Voldos? Grandmaster?
Oh yeah, Grandmaster Veldus.
That's not coming to us.
Oh really?
So I don't
Is
know
he
what's
going to a
happened there.
direct only or?
It was on the list for us to order, but it's not coming in. So unless they sold out too quickly before we got our
Maybe.
order in, I don't know. There's the sneeze.
Sorry about that.
Next we've got the Blood Bowl. Now this is a bit weird. They ain't releasing a team.
No.
They're releasing the Shambling Undead, dice, cards, and then the pitch and dugouts for the Shambling Undead, which, yeah, I mean, cool. If you're into Blood Bowl, which obviously you are,
Yes.
If you want to get your dice and
The
you want,
Shambling Undead team has actually been out for a while.
they have, yeah. I think it's just basically them catching up with basically their backlog of stuff they wanted to release, essentially.
Something's crawled up my nose.
Yeah. Right.
I love this
So
time
yeah,
of year.
pretty much. We haven't gone through them all, but there are 25 pre-orders. But obviously, with Grandmaster Voldus not coming out, there's 24 that will be on the website. Right.
I already have a Voldus. I haven't painted it yet.
Ooh.
It's one of the rare Grey Knight models I actually haven't painted.
Fair enough. Right. So the next big thing that I got a little bit of chatter earlier on in the week was dragons have riders.
This is not news.
This is not news. So
For anybody that's been in Warhammer for any length of time, this is not news.
but they've made it out to be news, and therefore we're perpetuating it and making it out to be news on our podcast.
Yes.
Yes. Right, okay. So
This may be news to Brendan, it's not news to me.
it's definitely news to me because, as everyone knows, I am a newbie. But one thing which I think is news to Gus is they said if you filled the general, the Stormdrake Guard with Knight Draconis, then you can field an all-dragon army. So they're envisioning just like 3 or 4 dragons on each side battling it out. So guess what's coming out in 2 weeks' time, guys?
Whether or not that
The
will
other
be
side.
a good list to run, it would definitely be a fun list to run.
Yeah, you won't have to worry about using loads of different units. You just
I'd
have
like to
3
see an
units.
all-dragon battle versus an all-mega gargant battle. That would be epic.
Okay, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
Right. Yeah, so an all-dragon army. They're releasing the Stormdrake Guard with Knight Draconis. Why does that ring a bell? Why does that name, the Draconis, why does that sound familiar? Does it sound familiar to you?
Game of Thrones, probably.
Is it, do you reckon? Do you reckon that's where I've heard it from?
Yeah, it's sort of like old Latin mixed with...
Draconis.
Yeah.
Dracaris is...
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, it's like, lots of variations on Dragon and Draco and Drake and... Yeah, you can only
There's
have
even
so many
There's
permutations
even a bit
of that.
of Harry Potter in there.
Yeah.
Draco Malfoy.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Black Sheep said it. Oh, and a Harry Potter spell. Draconis.
Cabot Draconis.
Yeah, there you go.
That was the password to get into
that's
Gryffindor Common Room.
Oh, you don't tell everyone. Jeez. Right.
All these muggles. No, don't.
And apparently there's more to come in the Stormcast Eternals Battle Tome. So apparently there's going to be more dragon-type units in the Battle Tome.
Yeah. I'm still a little disappointed that the majority of them are going to be locked behind Stormcast, but
So
I would have liked to have
you
seen
sure-
dragons in a more sort of general sense.
Could they not be like, but you can field this units on its own in other armies?
Probably.
But they're just
there
including...
are sort of allied rules and that and things, but yeah.
Okay. Right. That is pretty much the news from GW, apart from whatever else has happened yesterday. I wrote these notes yesterday. Right. GW IP update. There's a little bit of talk that has gone on over the last week, isn't there? I know you only want to just quickly step onto this, but you mentioned it in one of your streams last week as well.
Which was this?
About the Emperor's text-to-speech device.
Yes. So I went into a big old rant last week about the IP updates that Games Workshop have done about fan-made content. And I said at the time that I hope that this isn't some sort of strong-arm scare tactic and that it doesn't basically force creators like Alpha Booster to cancel his show, which is one of my favourite 40k related YouTube things to watch.
So what happened?
Exactly what I said.
Right, okay, so you didn't want it to happen because you're worried about this IP update, and then it happened.
Yeah, so basically Alpha Booster, during the, when was it? It was 2 days after the podcast last week. And he puts out a statement saying that because of the new update, he doesn't feel right carrying on with the series.
Have I just seen that Tabletop Simulator's been cancelled?
Text-to-speech. TTS...
Wow, guys. You have to be more specific. These acronyms are so bad. Tabletop Simulator.
The thing is, people just use the acronym to refer to both, and it confuses. So many people got worried that, what do you mean? Tabletop Simulator's gone?
Right.
It's like, no, Tabletop Simulator is still there.
Someone has mentioned that might be a threat as well.
It's not. It's not.
Don't they show GW miniatures in it?
Yes.
Is it under license?
No. Right. There is a grey area that exists. The company that produces Tabletop Simulator, they just produce the program.
Right, okay.
The content for any licensed games is fan created. The company that makes Tabletop Simulator don't themselves create the content that infringes on the copyright.
Okay.
The fans then create...
This comes under the same remit then as torrent websites. And
yes,
it comes under how Napster got done. It doesn't matter and it comes under the reason why Facebook have to now moderate their content. Mm-hmm. They make the platform, but they don't put the content on.
No,
but now they have to have to moderate it. So
there is precedence for it.
Yeah, I would say it's going to go. That is that is an educated guess.
But the fact of the matter is that
prediction.
Tabletop Simulator is not just
GW, but I can see the GW stuff getting taken down. Then.
Basically, anybody can create a mod file to play any kind of tabletop game on it.
I get
you can play Monopoly, Scrabble, all of those kind of things.
Yeah. But I would say pretty much. Yeah. Those mods will be taken down if this is the route that people are going to take. Anyway, we digressed because someone put in TTS.
I can't see them doing any kind of action directly against it because it's the same.
Maybe not against Tabletop Simulator, but maybe against the author of the mod.
No, but even then, they probably won't do anything because they don't themselves produce it. The whole reason that this whole No More Fan Animations came around was because of Warhammer Plus. They are now creating that content themselves. Yeah. So they're now going, right, nobody else is allowed.
There's no content where GW actually make a version of this, basically?
No, not currently.
Okay, well, no, that's a fair point. Okay, sorry, we completely missed the point there because Antiv decided to put TTS without actually putting down what it was.
Yes. But anyway, Alpha Booster, if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device, 100% go and check it out while you can, because all of the episodes are still up on YouTube, as far as I know. He hasn't taken any of them down. But what he said is he doesn't want basically the sword of Damocles hanging over his head every time he uploads a video. He doesn't want the idea of them coming after him.
There is precedence as well that states that they can't come after you for past shows.
No.
because then they should have raised those issues in the past.
And he's actually also protected under UK law.
Parody.
Because it is a comedy series. It takes all of the characters and that from Games Workshop and puts a comedy spin on them with his own narrative that he's created within his own 40k universe.
Yeah, because you are
evolved
protected
into its own
under
thing.
parody
Yeah.
for stuff like this.
Now-
So, I mean, hopefully GW turn around and say, no, you can carry on. That would be ideal.
But he doesn't feel
That it's safe, basically.
he doesn't feel safe doing it, and that's basically what Games Workshop have done. Is
Now-
they've put this out as a scare tactic and to make people roll over. It's the same when they send out cease and desist.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they've got no grounds for their cease and desist, but it's just because they've sent it to someone that can't afford lawyers, can't afford to do any kind of legal battle, so it's just easier for them to go, okay, I'll stop.
Yeah. What I will say about all of this is, guys, we are not bashing GW for
No. No.
What we're doing is commenting on what is happening in the world and then giving our opinion. I love GW most of the time, apart from when they do stupid things like Dominion. But
Everyone's entitled to mistakes.
now, if it was me, I would wait for that cease and desist because that's just the type of person I am. I can completely understand Alpha Busa about wanting to take this step, but at the same time, I was speaking to someone last week or over the weekend or whenever it was, and they said it could be a calculated stunt because he's now getting talked about. I mean, we're talking about him.
Well, the thing is, it's true that this move has now put a lot of heat on Games Workshop.
No, I mean,
And now
a calculated stunt to make Alpha Busa a little bit more popular.
No, yeah, but he was already in the public eye. I mean, there have been employees of Games Workshop that have said on their own streams that they watch Emperor's Text-to-Speech Device.
Right.
They've mentioned it and they enjoy it. Now that something that Games Workshop have done has forced Alpha Busa to take this move, might make them take notice and go, maybe we should be a little bit more clear than if you want to make fan animations, don't. That's literally what they've said. If anybody wants to make fan animations, don't. That's it. That has been their word on it. Now, what that does and doesn't include, they have not been clear on.
Yeah. Yeah, and from the horse's mouth of a a Games Workshop rep was, they aren't going to go specific. They just, if they went specific, then if they accidentally miss something out, then they open themselves up too much. And that's basically the reason why they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So, but it would be nice that if you have someone like Alpha Busa that is so popular, if they just made an exception and just went, you know what, for stuff like this, it's okay.
But basically, I kind of know exactly what's happened here in my own head.
Go on.
And this is probably just my opinion, but what has happened is they've got this new streaming platform. They've gone to their lawyers and that, right, we need all this legal stuff in place because we've got this going. It's just standard. Whenever you release something like this, there's a load of legal stuff that has to be done.
Yeah.
And the lawyers have literally drafted up this sheet and gone, right, in order for you to be protected from this stuff that you're putting out, this is what you have to put on your website. And they've just gone, right, yeah, I'll sign that on the bottom.
Completely reasonable, to be honest. Absolutely, completely reasonable. And if I was the creator of a bit of content, I would want to protect myself as well.
100%.
Got no problems with that or any of that.
At the end of the day, the people that run Games Workshop, they're probably not lawyers themselves. They've probably hired legal experts that have gone, right, this is what you need to say to protect yourself. Because they don't care about any PR or that. They're just worried about the legal side of things, and they've just gone, right, this is what you have to put out, sign on the bottom. That's it.
Yeah. Right. Okay, I think that's enough about that. If anything more happens in the future in regards to Alpha Busa or the text-to-speech or the
if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device.
It should be ETTS or IETTS or TETTS. Yeah, I'm just being silly now. Right.
But
anyway,
definitely
we
go
will
check
keep
it out.
everyone
If you
updated
haven't, you're
on
missing
our
out.
opinions about what happens in the future, if anything happens. Next, a little rant from me. Now, over the last 48 hours, I've gone through several emotions of anger and frustration and a few other bits. Now, I've always kept this podcast, my streams, as politically neutral as I can, as uncontroversial as I can. But I need to take a stance on something right now, guys. This has affected me personally in the last 48 hours. And I'm going to say this one. I'm going to say something and then I'm going to basically explain it. If anyone comes not even into contact, if you are in the same room as someone that tests positive for COVID and you've been in that room for longer than 15 minutes, get a test.
Yes.
Like, I went last Friday to the celebration assembly at Passmore's.
I was at the same one.
Yep, you were. There were...
You were stalking me in the queue.
I certainly was. Right behind him. I didn't even know it was him until he put his umbrella down. So we were there, and there must have been, what do you reckon, 250, 300 students?
Oh, at least, yeah.
Yeah, so that's all of year 7 that's starting next year. And there must have been double that of adults there. So you're talking 450 people there.
Yep.
There were positive cases over the weekend.
Yep.
And there was no social distancing. I was wearing my mask throughout the whole thing. And luckily, I found a space where there was actually gaps all around me. So I was as socially distanced as I could be. But there was positive cases in that room. We were there for an hour and a half. I took my... as soon as I heard about the positive... Actually, to be honest, even before that and after... Right, so before I heard about positive cases, I did a lateral flow test. After I heard about positive cases, I took a lateral flow test. Now, trying to get someone that I know personally to take a lateral flow test that should have done one has caused me so much frustration over the last 48 hours. I don't care if you think that the swabs give you cancer. No, I'm being serious.
Oh, dear.
I don't care if you think that it's traumatizing. It is everyone's moral responsibility to do a test. Anyone that thinks that they shouldn't be doing a test is putting themselves, others, and quite literally the wider community at risk. I don't know. I can bring up loads of examples of the reason why you should. There's not many reasons why you shouldn't do one. And it has just been incredibly frustrating for me. I just wanted to mention it to the entire world, that, you know, the 40 people that listen to the podcast, that it is my advice. Why not? Why not take the test? And the only answers for not wanting to take the test is because you're selfish, essentially, or you just have an opinion that quite literally 99% of the world disagree with you on. If 99% of the world disagree with you, you are wrong.
Just to play devil's advocate for a moment, though.
Go on then.
Everybody does have the right to choose one way or another for themselves. Yes, you are free to do that. But the thing that people forget is that though they are free to choose, they are not free of the consequences of their choices.
Yep, completely. Yes. That's incredibly well put.
Yes.
Yeah, and why? By the way, the reason why this caused me frustration is because it's someone that and
take responsibility for your consequences.
I have responsibility over this someone, basically, and therefore they don't actually get a choice. Not until they're 18.
No. And at the end of the day, children have to.
No, Gus is definitely not undermining this. He is
no.
literally.
And I'm just adding a sort of level-headed devil's advocate's perspective, yeah, everyone has the right to choose, and nobody should be belittled for their choice. If their choice then leads to a consequence for other people, then they should be judged on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be judged for their choices. But if their choices lead to a bad consequence for somebody else, then yes.
Yeah, look, quite literally, if you choose to go to a party and you know there has... how about this? If you choose, and there has been reported instances of this, if you choose, after you have had a test come back that you are positive and you choose to go outside, you should have every single little responsibility that comes from that put upon you. Like every consequence. Like if you are positive and you go outside your house, obviously apart from medical needs, and you by any chance come in contact somehow with an old lady and that old lady dies, murder.
Yep.
That's essentially what it is. If you give someone HIV and they die, that is murder. So why not the same for COVID? Right. Rant over.
Yeah. I will 100% defend everybody's... I mean, I know people that have said that they're not going to get the vaccine. I'm not going to name any names, but... and I respect those people's rights to choose not to get it. If they, in turn, then are not willing to suffer the consequences of that choice, that's on them.
Yeah.
100% on them. I will defend everybody's right to choose for themselves, but I will not defend them complaining about the consequences of that choice. They made that choice, that's on them.
Right. Cool. There's one little more, not rant, but there's one more little thing that I want to make people aware of now, and then we'll go on to something quite nice. So we'll finish. We'll try and wrap it up a bit better. So I saw this morning. I only got the notification this morning from Midwinter Minis. Now, Midwinter Minis, I've only just actually recently discovered this gentleman, and to be honest, his content is amazing.
Yeah,
like, his gaming is amazing. His the way
just listening to his voice.
That voice is. No, I can't. I'm not trying to do his voice. I'm
it's
just
no
trying to do a
wonder
nice
he gained
voice.
popularity so quickly.
Well, because his voice is so nice.
I mean, yeah, he's only been YouTubing like 2-3 years.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that's
and
incredible.
he's climbed.
How many YouTube play buttons has he got? Or don't they do that anymore? Right. Okay. So, what I just want to make people aware of this video. I want people to go and watch this video. I want people to make their own opinions about this video. I will give you my opinion. Gus might have his own opinion, but I'm not saying that this is the correct way of doing things. I'm not saying this is how it should be done. But basically, he's just released a video called Dear Games Workshop.
Yep.
And there's a link in the show notes for anyone that wants to actually go and watch it. But basically, in this video, he mentions a rumour or a bit of news that came from an ex-employee. Take a shovel of salt, by the way, with this, guys. Seriously, I'm not saying that this is correct, but apparently about the way that Games Workshop have been underpaying their staff. Or, correction, not paying their staff fairly for the work and skills they do is more accurate. Now, I implore you to go watch this. I implore you to share it. I implore you to make your own opinions. But what I would say, guys, is all joking aside and all the hashtag pay rise for Paige, from the figures stated on his video, Paige is paid more. Yeah, Paige gets paid more than what was quoted in those videos. Now, I'm a small shop. We are a 3-person shop. Okay, this is the reason why I wanted to bring this up.
Just quick disclaimer: I'm not one of those 3.
No. You're not.
I'm just the guy that hangs around and you can't get rid of.
What I would say is, I'm not saying that GW aren't paying their staff. I'm sorry, I'm not saying that GW I'm not saying that this video is correct. What I'm saying is, if it's even anywhere close to the values stated, or even if it's £5,000 more than the values that are stated in the video, I think it was like £17,000 or £18,000 that was mentioned. If the values are below £25,000 currently for a person that basically designs the games, that is not enough. I pay Page more than what those original figures were counted. I'm a small business. I cannot afford huge money to pay my staff. I can guarantee you whatever bonuses the CEO got this year could pay for their design staff to get more pay. My problem isn't with...
And after their share price has gone up, the CEO got bonuses.
Yeah, so I really do appreciate... on the Discord earlier, Red Scope Minis put up a nice comment, or should I say a comment that is completely legitimate. I'm not bashing GW for a rumour or a Reddit post or something like that someone put on. What I'm saying is I'm extrapolating from this that if it's even £5,000 more, it's still not enough. Like, they are a FTSE 100 company. They are in the 100 biggest companies in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
If their design staff are not paid a fair amount, and fair is a relative term, I understand.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, they are the industry leader.
Yeah.
100%, they are the industry leader.
In the States, I think Dungeons and Dragons might beat them. But over here, they are the industry leader.
Yeah. But so in that situation, then who decides what's fair for who? It's a very difficult to basically say that they deserve X, Y, Z when there's no precedence elsewhere.
Right.
There's no equivalent of people getting paid more.
But is there a argument to be made that are they losing staff?
Oh, 100%.
So therefore, there's an argument to be made that
I mean, this entire issue came about because of a Games Workshop employee who had now left the company.
I think it was about 5 years ago, though.
Is now saying, well, I wasn't allowed to talk about this then, but this was a while ago now, so I can talk about it now. This is what I got paid.
So I will just quickly pick up on what Red Scope Minis have said. So what is fair? Yes, it is a relative term. I completely agree. The average starting rate for a writer is about 24,000 today. Why would any company pay more than the market rate?
Exactly.
Because they are the best. Quite simply. You go work for Apple, you don't start on anything less than 50k. Trust me. And I'm talking at the because if the writer is equivalent to a programmer and coder when it comes to Apple.
I would say that those skills are very more specialised and very more highly skilled.
But it's the Games Workshop hasn't got that. What I'm trying to say, if you were to put, you are comparing apples and oranges, but they are both fruit at the end of the day.
True.
But what I'm trying to say is, in the equivalent market space, the person that designs your product, if you don't have, this is the thing, if you don't have a person to design your product, you don't have a product.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they've spent the last, 40 years with rules writers coming and going. And if they take the mindset of, well, if you leave, we'll just find somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. And that's wrong.
And if they know that they can do that, then why would they have incentive to keep people on at a higher wage rate?
To be a decent company.
Oh, yeah, I am not disagreeing. Once again, I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Right. This is the thing, guys. Right. There is a business way of looking at running a company, and there is a moral way of looking at running a company. I take a moral stance, so I can only give you my opinion on it. If I was to take a business stance, Paige would be on minimum wage. I pay Paige more than what that writer was quoted as being paid. I understand he left 5 years ago, but we sell products. We don't write them. So there's a huge disparity there, guys. Massive disparity. And that's basically all I implore everyone to do is head over to Midwinter Mini's channel on YouTube, give it a look, inform your own opinions. And if you feel that, and yes, do take everything with a pinch of salt, but if you feel that someone who basically writes a game that makes millions gets only paid under 30k a year, if you feel that that's fair, don't share it on. Or raise the case, make it so it's a dislike. Put an objection against the thing. Make it into a debate, and only through debate can things become fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much outside of this entire spectrum and that, because like in my job, I get paid like roughly around minimum wage. I take home less than £14,000 a year for my full-time job. I mean, admittedly, I only do 32 hours a week, but at the same time, it's just what my industry that I work in does as an unskilled employee, because I failed at school and got no real education to speak of, apart from I know how to weld things, but I can't do that anymore because my hand don't work. So
right, okay. So I'm just gonna. This is a good comment that Black Sheep UK has just brought up. If the pay scale is so low, they're not going to retain any experienced or skilled staff. The writers produce a lot of content. My observation has been, from what I have seen, that they are losing the skill.
Yes.
So therefore, if the pay that kind of suggests that the pay is too low.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, I've gone on about this quite a lot, and about 5-6 years ago, they hired on a full new community team that was there to interact with the public and build their PR up to new heights, and they did it. They did it, and they did it really well. Most of those people that they hired at that time are now gone. They've moved on to bigger and better opportunities because they weren't valued enough. And it's a shame. And now just look what's happening now. Yeah. That Games Workshop are falling back into their old ways. Their PR is taking a nosedive.
Yeah, like I don't want to make this a GW bashing session, because it's easy to bash the person on top. What I would say is that large companies obviously have got a lot of wheels to move. They've got a lot of things moving around and doing. They've got a lot of things to consider. One thing that government do well is you have the government in charge, and then you have the opposition party. It is not always, and this is what a lot of people get confused about our government is, it's not the job of the opposition to agree with everything that the government do, even if they agree with it. It's the job of the opposition company to bring up a different point of view, to see if the government are doing their job properly. If government worked properly, that's the way it would work. Yep. So if we want, us as hobbyists of Games Workshop should be giving Games Workshop praise for the jobs they do well, and also keeping them in check for the jobs they don't do well, because otherwise they won't be able to get back up on that high horse and actually produce a really good content. There needs to be checks and balances in every role and every field. If we as a hobby group just went around going, yes, you're doing fantastic, when they're not, then it would just eventually die out. So don't think of it as GW bashing. Think of it as a way of stopping GW from failing.
At the end of the day, if we didn't love Games Workshop, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, exactly.
We wouldn't be here talking to you guys now. We don't want to see Games Workshop fail. It's like a loved one who's an alcoholic, a recovering alcoholic.
That's a bit dark.
Well, no, yeah, but if you see them heading to the bar, you
ask them if they're getting a Coke.
Yeah, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, no, don't do it. Don't do it. We don't want you to go down this path again.
Yeah.
And it's a similar thing. Yeah, it's a loved one that is abusing themselves, and we don't want to see it.
Exactly. Okay, right. On to something a little bit more happy.
Yes.
Right, or actually it might turn into something else, but who knows?
Well, we'll see.
We want to talk a little bit more geekish. We want to nerd out a bit. So you've watched something recently.
Yes, I have. I have watched something recently. Now, this is not Games Workshop related at all. This isn't even well, it's kind of miniature related.
It's just geek.
Sort of action figure related.
Go on then.
So, as a kid in the 80s, I remember playing with Masters of the Universe toys.
He-Man.
He-Man. I played with He-Man.
Masters of
Yeah,
the...
I had loads of the figures. I even had the Castle Grayskull playset.
Nice.
And it was epic.
Epic.
And the stupid Dragon Walker thing that spun round and didn't go in the direction and couldn't walk on carpet.
Can I make a confession?
Oh, go on.
I can't remember He-Man.
I'm a bit older than you, though.
I can't remember any of He-Man. I'm sure that I watched it.
Ask your brother. He probably does.
He probably does, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember He-Man.
So yeah, I have very fond memories of He-Man, Master of the Universe, and recently they released a new cartoon based on the original He-Man. I was excited. I was excited to relive my childhood.
Recently they released a cartoon film about it. Yeah.
Well, it was a cartoon series on Netflix.
On Netflix.
Yeah,
Okay, right.
Five-part series, which is weirdly the first half of the first series because they've only released the first half.
Yeah,
of it.
okay, I've seen that done before. Okay.
Yeah.
They do that with the one where... Oh, God, I've forgotten the name. Carry on.
Right. Well, for one thing, right. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. I'll give you a couple of seconds to get out the chat if you don't want to hear anything about this.
We're probably going to be talking about this specific thing for about 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, and not very long. Okay. So, but in all fairness, you're not really going to... I'm saving you from yourselves if I give you spoilers on this. Right. So, yeah. What did you say? He-Man, was it?
He-Man, yeah.
No, it's not.
What? It's Master of the Universe,
It's Master of the Universe, yeah.
So how can there not be He-Man?
Because there's not.
What, not at all?
He's in it a bit.
Is he just like walking in the background or something like that? Just walking along?
No, he's in the first episode and in a couple of flashback scenes later on.
Okay.
That's it. That's all the He-Man you get.
Wow.
In your He-Man cartoon, there's no He-Man in it.
So
it's the Teela show.
So it's basically what you were expecting but didn't get it at all.
The first half of the first episode was great.
Right, I'm going to save that little bit right there for a little subject I want to bring up in a second. But so tell us anything else you want to talk about Masters of the Universe.
Okay. Spoiler alert, because this happens in the first episode. Right, you ready? Everybody gone? Everybody gone that doesn't want to hear this? They kill He-Man.
What?
He-Man dies.
What do you mean? Like I said, I don't remember He-Man, but I know you can't kill off He-Man.
They kill He-Man.
Oh, come on, we said spoilers and...
It happens in the first episode. Yeah, but it happens in the first episode and then that's not what the series is about.
Wow. But at least they get it. At least they get it out of the way.
Yep.
So that if you are thinking you want to watch the rest of it because it's He-Man, you know it's not going to be.
Yep.
That I actually quite like. That's a little bit better when it actually gets it out of the way and tells you what it is at the beginning.
Yep. But it's He-Man. It's the He-Man show. That's what Masters of the Universe always was. It was the He-Man show. You can't have a He-Man show without He-Man.
You mean okay? And unless you've got anything else you want to say about it.
Yeah. They bring him back in the last episode to immediately kill him again.
Oh, he's back! Gordon's alive?
Literally,
He-Man's alive?
Literally, they don't even kill He-Man again. They bring back Prince Adam, who then immediately gets impaled through the chest.
Wow. That's some good writing there.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so that sounds very familiar to another film that I went to watch at the cinema. Now, I will put a qualifying comment here, everyone. I don't watch TV. I don't watch trailers on YouTube or anything like that. I watch streaming services. I've got Netflix, Amazon Prime. I've got Disney Plus. I've got Apple TV Plus. That is Apple TV Plus. I've got Now TV. I've access to a few times. Right, so that's basically where I watch all my content. I don't see adverts on TV, and like I said, I don't see trailers. Everyone remember Joker? Who here hasn't watched Joker?
Oh, I have.
I would love to know if anyone else was as disappointed as me. Because I'm a fan of the Dark Knights trilogy. I'm a fan of Batman films. I'm a fan of DC Comics in terms of where they're still not as good as Marvel.
Controversial.
Very controversial. But I went to see Joker expecting a villain superhero movie.
Nope.
Like, why? You go watch a Batman film, you know it's going to be about superheroes. You just know it. You go watch a Joker film, it's going to be about a villain against superheroes.
Admittedly, while I agree with you on principle, the film delivered exactly what it promised. It didn't promise you any more than Joker. The film was just called The Joker. Or just Joker, I believe.
I think it was just called Joker.
Yeah, it was just called Joker. It didn't not deliver on that.
Okay, so you would be happy if you went to the cinema and watched a Batman film and he was just doing the opposite of what Joker was doing, because obviously he's a good guy, but didn't actually go out on and fight any villains.
I would be a little bit disappointed not seeing Batman fight villains, because that's what
Batman
is.
And what is Joker?
Joker is a crazy villain. And we saw that.
And Joker is a crazy villain.
We saw
that fights
Joker.
Superheroes.
Not wait. No, he's a criminal madman. We got criminal madman in droves in that film.
Right. You go over to the Marvel side of things and you watch a film called X-Men. Wolverine Origins or something like it was. X-Men or Wolverine Origins.
Yeah.
They decided to put the word origins in it. Why not do that for Joker? Because it would have made more blimmin' sense.
They could have done.
I don't watch trailers. I don't want to see the best parts of the film before I go see it.
Admittedly, though, any trailer that has all the best parts in it from the film means that the film's not that good.
Yeah, but you don't know that until you've watched the film.
Yeah, but if you see a trailer for a film that doesn't have all the best bits from the film in it, that means the film's going to be good.
Yeah, but you don't know that until you've watched the film.
Yeah, but exactly. Exactly. But it was always going to be a bad film. If all the best bits are in the trailer, it was always going to be a bad film anyway. Even not seeing the trailer.
So Lieutenant Smash says it was good. It was a good movie in its own right. I agree. It was a good movie.
It was a psychological thriller, and it was a good film.
Yes, but yes, you're right. It's not a superhero villain movie. My point is, I was expecting it to be.
It was a story that everyone had wondered about for a long time. How did Joker get to be the way he is?
Well, that's the thing, right?
And it's a story that they've gone out of their way not to tell over the years.
Yes, okay, agreed. Yes, they've never really given him a backstory that we know about.
No, and they've even said in the comics that there's a famous quote from Joker in the comics that that Joker says that if I were to have an origin story, I'd prefer it to be multiple choice.
Yeah, fair point.
Even he's not sure where he came from because he's that loony.
Right, so I think you just said that and I've lost what I was going to say, which might not be a bad thing. Yeah. Give me a second. Getting a bit of cheek over here from Paige. Hashtag pay cut for Paige. Ooh, the
Ooh,
look.
daggers. It's getting daggers for that one.
Right, so yeah, it was a good movie in its own right, but yes, it was not a superhero villain movie, but I was expecting it to be, is what I said.
Yeah.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. I know it is, but I can't think of it, so we'll move on.
Okay.
Right, you've been watching anything else at all recently?
Not a huge amount. I mean, catching up with some of the DC TV series like The Flash. Got new series out.
Ooh.
I've kind of fallen out of love with a lot of the Arrowverse.
Yeah, I get what
The Flash is about the only one that's still half watchable.
Okay. What about Amazon Prime? Do you got Amazon Prime?
I do have Amazon Prime. I haven't watched any new stuff on there lately.
The Expanse?
No.
Oh, you've not watched The Expanse?
No, I have not. Oh, tell me.
I'll tell you what. First season is really... to be honest, every season they do is really quite good. Spoiler alert. It's between Earth and Mars and the Outer Belt. So there's like three dominating factions within the Expanse. It's based on the Earth's solar system.
Right.
And yeah, it's about how humans have basically become interplanetary and stuff like this. But it's really well done. It's Star Trek / Battlestar Galactica-esque, in my opinion. And in season 2, I believe, there's like a war breaks out, so it's really quite cool. And I think season 4 is just it's now on Amazon Prime. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
But then you've got season 5. I think that they've announced is coming out soon or something like. But yeah, I need to watch season 4. But trust me, if I really recommend you watching Expanse, you will absolutely love it.
Forget the time. I'll check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Watch The Tomorrow War. Very good. Yes,
I've been meaning to, actually. I've been trying to collar the wife so we can sit down together and watch that.
I've watched that.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that.
It is very good, but it's another one of those time travel ones that messes with your head a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to find plot holes aplenty in any time travel movie. So,
but one thing I would say is I'm not going to spoil it, but
is Chris Pratt in that?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
I do like Chris Pratt in most things.
Apparently, I look like Chris Pratt a little bit.
Really?
I don't see it.
No.
So what I would say is there's one thing about the movie that you get towards the end about, and I'm only going to say the word ice, so that's not a spoiler. That is something they are actually concerned about in real life. It's on a certain government list somewhere in the United States about threat levels, about stuff that might be or might have been, and that's what I'm going to say. Otherwise, it's a massive spoiler. Because I like that movie so much, I'm not going to spoil it. And Gus hasn't seen it yet.
No, I actually want to see that one. So
cool. Right, we're getting pretty much towards the end of our stream for today, but let's. I'm going to skip the GriffCon reminder until after listeners' questions. Let's see if listeners have got any questions for us. If you have any questions right now, please get it in the chat. Put the in capitals question and then write your question in chat. And it can be anything about the pre-orders, dragons, the text-to-speech little debate we had there, the rant for me about COVID if you want, the bit about Midwinter Minis. Welcome the debate on that. For, against, neutral, whichever. And if you want to geek out a bit, obviously that as well. Let's go over to the listeners' questions here. I think we've covered Red Scope Mini's first paragraph on the Discord questions. My question today is, a lot of games such as Star Wars Legion maybe have a new model release once or twice a year. GW pretty much release new models every week. This is the GW schedule of releases good for a store that keeps people returning, or does this create a negative impact on a store? In perhaps trying to balance sales and demand for products, is there a downside to the rate of release of GW have on a store? That's an incredibly good question and has a lot of little parts to it, actually. I mean,
there's a definite downside to my bank account.
I would say that frequent pre-order releases is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
It does keep customers coming back. I would say the level of pre-order releases we're getting lately is a bad thing, especially the big box release.
Yeah. The problem is that Games Workshop is still trying to play catch up with their schedule.
Yes. Completely yes, because they were shut. Their warehouse was shut for like 3 to 4 months.
Obviously, they have like a 5-year plan because they work on products like 2, 3, 4 years in advance, and they have a 5-year plan of roughly when things are coming. They finalise schedules and that like the year before, but they're basically had a huge setback, and they're trying to play catch up.
I completely agree with that. They are trying to catch up. Therefore, their releases are coming out almost weekly right now. Actually, no, they pretty much are. The only time it wasn't weekly is when they were doing the Dominion release, and they did that as a 2-week gap, and that's pretty much the only respite we've had.
Yeah. I mean, pre-COVID, they were pretty much doing every 2 weeks. They were doing like a big release, small release, big release, small release, big release, small release, and now they're they're having to do one small release and then 2 or 3 big releases and then a small release and then 2 or 3 big releases, and it's
it's right. So is it? I'd say it's good for the hobby. It does keep people coming back. Is it good for the store? It's definitely good if the product that is getting sold actually sells. So I'm not. We're talking about Dominion here. I'm saying, for instance, we have got on the shelf next to Gus there, we've got all of the Adeptus Orator stuff and the new scenery items.
Tank!
Right.
Boomy tank.
Most of those sold. So, yes, that's good for the store. The bit where it's not good is if you're ordering multiple of the same item. See, my store, we try and keep in at least one of every item, and for the more popular items, 2 or 3 of them, so people have the choice and they don't miss out when they do. But when pre-order items that you do not know are going to sell well, if it's coming around very often and you order, say, 3 to 5 of each of those items in, and you still have 5 in stock the following week, that's bad for a store, because then that puts back what they can't pre-order for the next pre-order, especially when it's the next week after. So it is one of those things where there is just no way of telling how things are going to go in all things. But there's good sides and bad sides to there being frequent pre-orders. I would like it to be that there's pre-orders ideally once a month. So at around about the third weekend for pre-order and release on the 4th weekend of the month, because I'd say that's when the majority of people get paid. Yeah. I would say that things would actually get paid more often. I would say things would sell better in that realm. Okay, what else? Now, in terms of Star Wars, Legion and X-Wing, they do only get releases every now and then. I would say that they're such a new game to the scene that they can't do pre-orders very often.
Also, as well, you've got to remember as well, it's licensed products as well.
Yes.
They've got a lot more hoops to jump through to get anything produced, and they're very limited in what they can produce.
Yeah, that's completely true. But let's, for instance, say they were trying to do a schedule of monthly releases or 2 weekly releases. The company would fold, because there's not that many people playing it.
It is gaining in popularity. I mean, if there were like bigger cycles of releases, it might gain a lot of traction with people, but that's a big risk for them to take.
Yeah, and GW have got the legs to do these pre-orders this frequently. They've got the community behind them. They've got the players, so it works. Star Wars, if they started releasing more often, I'd say it'd be nothing.
I mean, Games Workshop have slowly built up to this level of releases and that over the last 40 years.
Yeah.
And a company that's produced a game that's only like 3-4 years old, there's just no way they can build up to that straight away.
Yep, fair enough. Right, okay. I hope we've answered your question enough there, Redscope Minis. Oh, we have Studio J7 on the chat in the live feed. Anyone that's on our podcast, we implore you to go to twitch.tv/Studio J7 and give him a follow. He is an amazing person, a nice supporter of our stream, and always speaks very highly of me when I go onto his channel, which I really, really do appreciate. Please,
Me too, very undeservedly as well.
lost my microphone stand. Give me a second, guys. Right.
More duct tape.
More duct tape. So if I'm just going to give him a quick shout out because I think it's only mods that can do it. There we go. Give if you can, everyone on the chat and our listeners on the podcast, please consider going over to Studio J7 and giving him a follow, please.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Is there any more questions in the chat here? Wow, there is actually hashtag page to do the podcast next week.
Am I getting demoted?
Sorry, Paige, what's your answer? No. You heard it from her.
I'm safe.
Question, any expected date for Kill Team? No.
End of the month.
This month.
Before the end of the month.
Yeah,
that's all we
what
know.
I've been told.
Soon. Very soon.
Right. Any more questions on the chat before I go back to Discord? I think I saw one in there.
Page for Kill Team unboxing. She does like the Orcses.
Right, okay, so Black Sheep UK is
She does like the
said a
Orcses.
statement more than a question. I have been reading the original tweets about the GW pay thing. It's shocking that full-time writers had to rely on bar work to bump their money up. I haven't seen this, I haven't heard of it. What I would say with this is...
Problem with that is that a lot of writers are on freelance work and unfortunately not working.
I mean, if
means
they
don't get money.
If they are full-time staff writers at GW and they've...
Yeah.
I mean,
if they're on staff and they're salaried and they can do their writing at home, which a lot of them could, that's one thing, but...
But what I will play devil's advocate to my own sort of statements here earlier. I was in the Air Force. I was obviously full-time, not reserve, and I went and got myself a job in a bar. It wasn't anything to do with money. I actually, at first, I thought it would be cool to go get myself a part-time job outside. I hated bar work after that, and I hate going clubs after that. But I would say there's always got to be different sides to the story. So all I'm saying is the debate is good, and if it is true that the wage was so low that that person felt that they needed to work in a bar in order to pay all their bills, then that is bad. But we don't know the ins and outs of all of that.
It's not unusual these days for
People to have more than one job.
Second jobs.
I think we've got an echo.
Just in general.
Right, give us a second, everyone. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. All right, question. Is 3D printing something GW eventually make part of their business model in some way? GW 3D printed Castilian Crow, for an example, or will they forever fight 3D printing?
GW have been making use of 3D printing technology for many years, but it's been part of their design process.
As in to design the actual... things as like a rapid prototype.
So yeah, they've been in on 3D printing technology for like the last 20 years.
I've not heard of anything directly where I've seen GW act actively against 3D printing. They might run tournaments at like Warhammer World where they disallow a Games Workshop model that is 3D printed, but that's understandable.
Yeah, they have actually they've actually put out a statement on their stance on 3D printed models at their events.
Okay, go ahead.
And they've said that they are 100% okay with 3D prints as long as they are your own creation.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean,
as long as they're not a third part, because they don't allow third-party models on their tables. As the same as if somebody else has produced a file and then you've printed it off, they won't allow that. If you've created the file yourself and then printed it, they're okay with that.
So my bunker that I created,
yes,
would it be allowed with your, you know how you had a few spare Warhammer emblems on it? Would that then be allowed? So basically, you can go onto our website now and hunt. Actually, I'm not even sure if it's on there, but we will probably add it soon. There is a bunker that I designed myself. I actually designed it in...
If anything, yes, because the one that I painted for you actually has Games Workshop parts added to it.
That's what I mean. So basically, I've designed a bunker that looks pretty cool, I think, personally.
It does.
And then I commissioned Gus to paint it for me, and he actually put some GW parts that are, genuine GW sprue parts onto it.
Yes.
Would that be allowed on the table?
Technically, yes.
Okay.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to take it to a tournament or anything because there's no official rules for that model.
Right, so for the people who are live today...
Yeah, but by Games Workshop's own admission,
so that is fine. This is my own custom design. Did it actually in SketchUp, like Google SketchUp?
Brendan made that himself.
Right.
100%. You can't get this anywhere else.
You can't, not at all. Right. I was basically going for like an air traffic control type thing, but making it into a bunker.
Yeah.
Right. And this is basically... So that description should work for people who are listening on podcasts. It looks a little bit like a miniature air traffic control tower. Now, this is the work that Gus did for me on this. So as you can see, there's additional parts added there from other scenery pieces and other sprues. It's been painted up really nice. Looks really cool.
Well, having said that, I've just noticed the door, which isn't Games Workshop. But
that shouldn't really be a problem.
Yeah, but no, that was another third-party part that I had lying around. But I could just as easily have gotten a Games Workshop part that did the same job. So, just as easily.
Right. Okay, right. So, are they against 3D printed stuff in general?
No.
No. Are they against 3D printed models in games? Yes. As in their games and their tournaments? Yeah. Yes. But...
they will allow you
How would you use a third-party part in one of their models anyway? A third-party model in one of their games? I don't know.
I think their sort of stance is more about third-party, like alternate parts, like Space Marine shoulder pads, for instance, with different emblems on. There are companies that sell them. But basically, they will produce shoulder pads with different emblems on that Games Workshop don't.
And then they won't be allowed to use those?
No, but unless you created it yourself. If you created it yourself, they will allow it.
Just say you did.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so next question.
It's difficult to prove one way or the other.
We've got a decent amount of questions today. So, Zapango says, can we get a tour of the new layout of the shop? I apologise if I've missed it shown before. Right, it's not ready and it's not finished.
Quite there yet.
But you can see from behind Gus, there is pretty much of a reasonably of the new layout.
I think Redscope said he liked the new layout behind me. My idea.
It was your idea.
It was my idea.
But I mean, we'll give you a small. No, you know what? Right, I'm not going to do a proper shop tour yet.
I mean,
I'm going to wait for it to get.
For everything that you could show off now, you can actually see most of it behind me
pretty
already.
Much. So we're going to keep anything else under wraps until we're finished. Like I've even got friends that aren't interested in modelling asking, have you got any photos to show me of your new layout? Just because they're interested of how my business is doing. And I'm actually going around to them and say, I haven't actually taken any photos yet because I'm not finished and I don't feel like I want to capture the not finished bit yet.
Wait till we get the table in. Shh. Oh, there's going to be a table. Oh, that's not secret.
Right, have I missed any questions, guys? When are the dragons coming? Probably after August. I wouldn't have thought it would be in August.
No, they won't be this month.
Page for Kill Team unboxing.
I think she should because she likes the orc stuff, and there's a lot of orc stuff in that box.
Would you consider doing an unboxing on camera?
No.
You just don't want to be on camera. What if it was just your hands?
Just your hands and voice.
You don't. She doesn't want to do it, guys. I'm sorry. I can't force her. I'm a nice boss. Pay cut for Paige. You got work to do. Okay. Right. Oh, because I'm not doing it. Okay. Right. Will there be new plastic Kachan troops?
I would like to think so. We haven't heard anything one way or the other. I would have thought so. They're due for an update. And they've released a few Kachan character models. They're limited edition Kachan character models. Like,
Robosh says P45. I think she's ignoring you, Robosh. Right, anyway. Is Studio J7 still on? If he is, that would be awesome. If not, that's cool. Right, next part we're going to talk about, just before we close the show down, is I'm going to just give people a little bit of a reminder about GriffCon. So, GriffCon, we are hosting it on July the 9th next year. Here's Studio J7 there. We're going to be doing quite a lot there. There's going to be gaming tables set up. You'll be able to play all sorts of different games, anything from obviously Games Workshop products to Marvel Crisis Protocol, Star Wars X-Wing, Star Wars Legion, and a few other games, probably some Dungeons and Dragons in there as well, mixed in there. You will be able to, once in a few months' time, book a table. Once you've got a ticket, you and a few friends can get together and say, let's book a table. That table will be yours for the day. Paint there, eat there if you want, build, play a game, do whatever you want. Your table, right? So you've got a base. You don't have to feel like you have to walk around the whole time. You can't just make it so you can just make it yours, I mean. So if you want to bring like the toolbox of all your paints and stuff along to get some stuff done, awesome opportunity to do it. There will be a central gaming table with a camera over the top of it, and there will be a projector on the wall, so you don't have to huddle around. There'll be stuff like that. We're going to try and get some manufacturers in to do some stands, maybe even some manufacturers we don't even stock yet.
Nobody wants to see that Red Scope.
What if you don't have friends? That's a very good point. Thank you very much, Dead Nerve. I think that's well, there will be a few tables that we reserved for single occupancy booking. So there'll be about, I think they host like 8 people around a table. So it'll be basically you book a chair at that table, but that chair will then still be yours for the day. So there is the opportunity for both side of things. So yeah, we're going to have manufacturers come. We're going to have streamers come, and the streamers are going to have their own little tables for you to meet them. If you want to have a picture of them or anything like that, you want to talk to them, you want to, I don't know, if they have their own merch, they can bring their own merch along. And
it's never stopped me, Dead Nerve.
And one of the streamers is Studio J7. He has kindly agreed to come along to our brand new GriffCon, and I might bring an army as well, he says. There you go. I am putting this forward to the streamers in the future, but we have not only is there all of that stuff I mentioned and more. There will be cosplay, there will be competitions, there will be opportunities for people to enter into different events throughout the time. We're also going to have a green room, so that's the VIP room where the streamers hang out, where people with VIP tickets hang out. In this room, you'll have access to complimentary food and drink. You will, there will be gaming tables set up in there. If you want to make that place your base, as in the green room, not the gaming tables, in there your base, you can if you want. Might be less sociable, but some people might not want to be in a huge crowd. And what we're going to ask some of the streamers to do is to essentially, if they're willing to, play a few games in the VIP green room and play against a couple. So if you have always wanted to play Studio J7, you might well be with the chance to, but you will need a VIP ticket to do that. I'm down for that. There you go. Awesome. And yes, there will be biscuits, Studio J7. There will be biscuits.
Ooh.
Maybe some Vinnie's fingers, some brownies, some carrot cake. Carrot cake.
My Betrayal at House on the Hill game. It's my favourite board game.
Right. So I really do, guys, there are plenty of tickets available right now, but they will sell out before the, probably well before we get to the things.
Well, once we start finalising some of the events and things that are going on, and that the tickets are going to start to go.
The hall is booked. We have got it, and it will run. The only reason it won't run in its current format we're planning is if COVID has got worse.
If there's another lockdown,
basically,
which is doubtful.
Hopefully, anyway. Hopefully. So I implore everyone to go get a ticket. Please don't miss out on that. So head to griffingaming.co.uk and there'll be a GriffCon button. Click on that and you can see the different tickets that are available. We've also got confirmed Green Ice Creations coming from Twitch, and we're right now in talks with another streamer that I'm not going to mention the name of because I don't believe in trying to do that. What I do ask for everyone to do is to try and promote this. This is our first one. Please put the word out there to your friends. If you are already coming, if you've got a ticket and you have friends you play with at a local gaming club, please let them know about it. We will be approaching obviously the local clubs here and telling them about it, but we need a few more people to know.
I might swing by as well.
You might swing by. Yeah, there you go. So you get to meet Gus as well. And we're even planning drinks the night before in a local hotel. Obviously, there's a few hotels in Harlow that people can use, but there is a hotel just down the road.
The local one has quite a nice bar.
Yeah, it has a really nice bar. So we're planning drinks the night before. Might even do breakfast because I think we're actually planning to stay in that hotel because we live in Braintree and we've got to be here early. And obviously we want to drink the night before, which will be good.
Well, I don't get the feeling there's going to be people crashing on in my living room at night.
And Gus is open. Hotel Gus is open as well.
Yeah. I have to see what the wife says about that.
Right. So, guys, well, thank you very much. There's been a little bit of a rant tonight, a few different rants. There's been a bit of a debate. We've had a little bit of fun with the with the Joker not Joker segment.
I like that film.
I like the film. Don't get me wrong. I like the film. Just not what I was expecting. Right, that's enough of that. That's enough. Right, well, let's get you guys sorted. Let's get you guys heading over to another channel. We always raid here. Please show support for the channel. Please do the GGs. And we'll be on, I think we're streaming tomorrow night at 7 for a painting stream. The kids are messing up timings next week for looking where we have to look after them. So if I am streaming on Monday, it might be from 8 or 8:30 instead of 7. But please keep an eye out because we might not be even on Monday. It might be Tuesday or another time. So, yeah. Right. How comes Nell isn't streaming during the day anymore?
I don't know. School holidays, probably.
Yep.
School holidays.
Kids.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Because she always leaves to do the school run.
You can see that list. Who do you reckon we should go for?
Ooh,
We could go for someone I'm not following yet.
We could.
Should we have a look?
I mean, Alchemist's not bad. Squidzilla was the one that we chose randomly last week.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's already had an injection.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's see if there's anyone new, shall we?
Yeah.
You always got to boost up the viewership of new people. Everyone. I think that's how Gus basically. Gus getting raided by I think it was 100 and something.
In fact, it was the Honest Wargamer that did it.
Gus getting raided by the Honest School Wargamer on the first ever stream I watched him on was what convinced me to actually start streaming myself. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah. Let's do this. Right, out of these, let's have a look.
Having only an average of 4 or 5 people watching my streams at that time and then get raided by over 125 people.
Yeah, that was insane. So who do you reckon? Oh, what about these guys?
Nah. I don't like the look of that one at the top there.
That's us, by the way. I was pointing out.
That's when you're painting some tail.
I'm not sure. What's this? Kingfisher Chris, English and Italian.
Not
sure.
I can't even see what he's painting.
No, I can't.
I can see paints, and a brush, but I can't see.
What's this one? Project Secret One. No. Let's see what the chat is saying quickly.
Alchemist, we've done Alchemist before.
What's this one? Oh, is that Tau?
Yeah, that's the Tau model. That's the one I was... Yeah, let's go for that one.
Yeah, speed painting stream. That sounds interesting. I have to wait...
Goldilocks.
I have to wait for it to go through the whole advert first. So, let's wait for that. Followers only chat. That's good. I didn't know you could do followers only chat.
Yeah.
Okay, please, guys, get ready with your emotes. Please show them support. They've got currently 10 viewers on, so it's not a small number. I started off with much less than that, and I'm not even saying that they've got more followers than me, guys. So that's, I mean, they're doing all right. But to be honest, everyone always needs more followers. Everyone always needs more viewers. So I'm gonna get you over to them now. What's that? How would you say that?
Goldilocks.
Goldilocks. Okay, let's boost up their viewer numbers right now, shall we? And please, guys, if you can, stay with them, give them a follow, and spread the love.